So say I'm a consumer, because I am, and I'm actually
Mhm.
interested to know, like, what should I be doing right now? Well, here I got a couple questions that I'm sure everybody would want to know the answers to. First question is pretty much how is this affecting transactions under contract?
If you're under contract and you got a rate that's locked in, you're going to be fine as long as in your state, especially Michigan. Right now, we're not at a state shutdown right now, so you shouldn't see any delays as far as appraisers or anything like that, unless the appraiser or the company doesn't want to do, or the homeowner doesn't want anybody in the house. That's a different story.
Yeah, I have sellers. I have a listing where for them to have showings, they're requiring that people wear masks and gloves, and they're providing them at the front door.
Yep, yep. I've even had me being licensed in other states, I do a lot of business in other states as well. So even when I have to send a notary to go to a client's home, um, they drop the signing package at their front door and label each spot where they need to sign. And then once it's done, they'll contact the client will contact the notary, letting them know it's done. Leave it at the front door, and they'll pick it up.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's messed up right now.
So I know you guys are getting a lot of activity with refinancing.
But yeah, we got a lot of activity with refinancing, that's for sure.
So are you guys still accepting applications?
Absolutely still accepting applications. The one thing, and I'm sure you're going to touch on this point, or we're going to ask me, is the pricing aspect of it. So that's where the big misunderstanding is when it comes to mortgage interest rate. Know that with the way the market is right now, feds keep cutting the rates. They're at zero right now. There are people calling, why is my mortgage
0%
not
mortgage
zero?
interest rate.
Yeah, if I said if it was at 0%, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be a billionaire on a beach. Work that way. There's a lot of other factors that go into mortgage rates. Those Fed cuts usually go, they take effect towards, credit card interest rates, auto loans, things
Short
like that, student loans, stuff like that. Mortgage rates are also affected by the mortgage-backed securities, which, if you follow the market, if you know anything about the market, mortgage rates usually go by the 10-year treasury bond and then the MBS, which is the mortgage-backed securities. Usually those stay pretty steady with each other, but right now they've decoupled. They're separated. So that's what's causing a flux in the market. It's never been seen in our industry before. The volatility in the market is crazy. Usually pricing, on a normal day in the industry, pricing will change maybe once, twice a day, and a very minimal change too, if that. Today, Monday, they had one of our lenders change pricing 7 times, from 100 basis points to 140 basis points up and down. I price somebody out something in the morning, and then afternoon, 2 hours later, it'd be different.
Yeah. What are interest rates right now on average?
You're probably looking at somewhere in the fours. If you're not putting that much down, it's going to be high fours, low fives. To be honest with you, but it just depends on the situation. So a lot of things that go into pricing, as you might know, is obviously credit score, the amount you're going to put down, so your loan to value. Those are the two main factors of what determine what kind of rate you're going to get.
I still want consumers to know that, like, a 5 or even a 4, those are still low interest
Those
rates.
are still, yeah, absolutely. Those are still low. The reason why people think those are high is because over the last year or two, it's a little bit higher than what we were or what we've been doing the last year or two.
We've been
But
spoiled.
overall, yeah, across the industry, those are still low.
It's important, I think, for buyers to just run the numbers, see what your mortgage is going to be. Is it worth it for you in your
Oh
scenario?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ever call, a mortgage broker or somebody in the industry, and just to get you a quote. It doesn't. There's no cost into doing that. The only thing you're going to get more information in your hands, so you can make the best possible decision for yourself.
So say I'm a consumer, because I am, and I'm actually
Mhm.
interested to know, like, what should I be doing right now? What would you be doing right now with your mortgage? If you had one, or if you wanted a mortgage, are you refinancing?
So here's what I'll tell you. If you have a rate that is under 4%, you're probably not going to get any lower than that right now. That could change, with the volatility in the market. It could go back down to where it was, 3 weeks ago, or it's at its all-time low. If you're over 4, it's a good time to at least still check into that. You might be able to get something lower. Um, it just depends on everybody's situation. They're all different. Over time, people are trying to refinance if they built up a lot of equity in their house. They might not realize, yeah, if I only lower my rate by a quarter of a percentage, it might not look like it's much, but you built up so much equity, you still be able to lower your payment.
But that brings me to my next question, man. Where do you see the market going?
So that's a tough question. I think if you talk to anybody, whatever their opinion is, I think it's going to be wrong,
It's an
including mine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's exactly. It's even the biggest CEOs in our industry. I've watched a lot of videos over the past week, and they all have different opinions on it. They all think the market is going to level off in the next couple weeks or so, once things start to cool down. But nobody knows if it's going to cool down or not. It
Yeah.
could get worse, and nobody really knows. If they go on a countrywide, shutdown, that will have a huge effect on the whole market and the industry. But overall, as a whole, the industry has never been stronger. And what I mean by that, the processing, the underwriting, we're still able to hold the capacity of loans that we've always been capable of, especially on my end. I don't know, I can't speak on behalf of other banks, but from the broker side, I know we can still, we're still doing um, the same amount of loans we do in the past couple months, just at a slower pace a little bit right now, depending on those one-off situations where we can't do an appraisal or something like that. Um, but the mortgage market has always been a backbone for the country, so it'll still be good for people to refinance or purchase a house. Purchasing a house will always, it's always a great idea. Obviously, it's still better than renting.
Land's always
Yep.
there. Same here, man. I don't really know what's gonna happen either, but I do see, like, I'm gonna pay attention to what the inventory is.
Seen prices go down?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
So
Like 6% increase over since 2019. So I'm kind of just gonna start paying attention to counties and tracking the inventory, median sales price, and see
I'm
what
curious to
happens.
see what that number will be the next 2 months.
I know that I'm putting out a video here soon, and that's exactly it, man. Like, try not to listen to the too many opinions and just go off of the numbers.
Yeah,
Because
it's it's
if like you say, mortgage rates stay 5, 4 or lower, and house prices are dropping because maybe unemployment goes up, it's going to be a great time to buy.
I posted something a couple weeks ago when the market was at its all-time low, and then one day it shot up. I posted something where home affordability is as best it's ever been. So what
Yeah,
I mean by that is, um, because the rates were so low at that time, and everybody expects them to get back to that point where they will be low again. Um, People can afford more house. So basically, they can look at bigger value homes. If somebody said they can only afford 200,000, they might be able to afford 250 or 225.
I think it's important for everyone just to run the numbers and look at their situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I tell everybody, I get people calling me, like I said, left and right. I can't do nothing for them, but I don't. It doesn't bother me that they're reaching out to me, because I still keep them in the back of my mind that I know they wanted to do something, whether it's purchasing a home or refinancing. Obviously, if they can't do anything right now, once the market settles down a little bit, it goes back to its normality, we'll get them in.
Yeah. And see, I think it's so important for people to have relationships with lenders like you or agents to where they can trust them and get real information from them.
Oh yeah,
Not
absolutely.
just be sold on, yeah, you should do this without actually digging in and doing the research.
Yeah.